Man, what's that method? And I used to do it I did it
There we go.
4 years ago.
What's that?
3, 4, 5 method.
Oh, the Pythagorean theorem.
Pythagorean theorem.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man,
A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
It's
All right, guys. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. We got Mr.
Morning. Are we live?
Oh, we're live.
All right.
Let's
live.
go.
We're live.
Sweet.
We're live. We're live.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to
another day.
STBA podcast number 2.
Number 2 with Mr. Bello.
Yes, sir.
Greetings. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Eddie. How you doing, bro?
How many we got tuned in right now? No, you never say that, bro.
Don't be so honest.
It's in increments of it's in increments of 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000.
I was gonna say increments of 10. Man.
Yeah, you're right. We got about 20,000 viewers right now.
That's awesome.
Whole world is watching.
One day, man. As long as the builders are watching, that's all that matters, right?
Does this actually get recorded and then we can view
Yes.
it later?
Yes, bro.
Oh, nice.
And you can keep it for your files. And when you get a new client,
We'll show it off to
you
everybody.
send it to them so they can kind of get an idea of what you're about, right?
Definitely.
I did a podcast, I don't know, maybe 6 years ago. And it was really cool, bro. Like, we really got into depth of why I started building and the motivation behind it and what got me into the industry. And it was a very, honest conversation. And I got that clip, and I would share it with my clients. Like, when somebody new comes in and doesn't know you, well, here, take a listen to this, and that'll give you a better idea of what we're about.
That's good.
And it helped, man.
I personally, I love listening to podcasts too, and I listen to 2 or 3 different ones.
Yeah.
Sometimes I replay these because one of them is called the Construction Management Podcast.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't know we had something like that.
that's pretty cool.
Awesome, man.
Write that down.
No, later on I'll shoot it to our group chat, right? But it's very informative. It's some builders from the East Coast.
That's cool.
And they go through different phases of the framing, sheetrock stage.
Yeah.
And they give you in-depth knowledge on what to look out for.
That's cool.
So
How'd you find that?
just Googled it, man.
Really?
I'm naturally, I'm a nerd at heart.
Yeah.
So in construction, I'm like, how can I get better, right? Well, a lot of it is online. Now
Yeah.
we have access to Google, to YouTube, podcasts, like what we're doing now, right? And hopefully, STBA, we can grow that into...
I mean, that'd be super cool.
into-
Some builder in the East Coast is listening to our podcast.
I mean, you never know.
Why not, right?
You never know.
I mean, why not? At the end of the day, it's all about creating a bigger network of like-minded individuals, and that's what we're starting now.
Yeah.
And so, the cool thing would be to see that, I don't know, 5-10 years from now, duplicate or multiply. It's good, positive impact on our industry.
I feel that... What are we, 52 builders, 62 builders?
53.
53.
Hey, Carlos Gaitan's calling me. Should I type him in real quick or
Come
what?
in.
Tap them in.
Hold on a second. So this is the other cool part, right? Is that Charlie? What's up, bro?
What's up, Bob? Sorry, I was in the conference call.
No worries, man. We're actually in the podcast right now, so you are live.
Live.
And I answered the call because just as we're currently talking about STBA and kind of bringing builders together and creating a network, and Charlie's another builder, and we're currently working together on some design work for him in a new subdivision that he's starting. And he's got quite a few homes that he's going to build there.
Oh, yeah.
And so he asked me to help him design
The homes.
some of the homes. Yeah, bro. So
Nice.
you
Yeah,
got two
Charlie.
builders
There you go.
working together, bro, and it's super cool. What's up, Charlie?
What's up, man?
Hey, bro. I sent you that email. I included the paint colors on the exterior, the shingles. And I included the light that we're going to use in the front. So he should have it now in the SketchUp file so he can render it.
Perfect, man. That's all he needed.
Awesome, bro. I will call you later. We're in the podcast right now.
Later, Charlie.
Sounds good.
Later, brother.
Later, bro.
Hey, guys. I'm trying to get the link so I can listen to it.
Chime in, baby. Chime in. Don't forget to comment on Facebook or ask questions.
Of course.
All right, later, bro.
We didn't even get that started.
We got it started now.
Cool. So yeah, man, that's pretty cool stuff.
But going back on that, on what we're trying to achieve, right? STBA with 53 or more builders, we have the knowledge.
We do that in increments of hundreds.
There you go. We have 100 builders
200
right now.
builders.
We have the knowledge, to make this podcast into a little bit of everything, but most importantly, how to teach other builders,
Absolutely.
right? What we know, But again,
Information is everything, bro. The best way to make decisions is to be informed. And the more information that you have, the better. And any information is good information. So it's helped me out as far as being in the organization, just being able to kind of piggyback off of somebody, and not everybody has the answers, but collectively,
absolutely,
we figure it out.
You get to make your own decision off of what people are giving you.
Yeah,
you get to dissect what's good, what's bad.
Yeah, it's
Bring
STBA
it
in the
bring it
house,
out.
baby.
So
I'm a big fan of STBA.
Hey,
if you haven't noticed.
I mean, I think we all three of us are in a way. I mean, I always see you at every meeting,
but
bro.
I'm also a big fan of Eddie Bello, and that's who we have right now. So, Eddie, we were talking before we got on here how things are going for you right now.
Sure.
You see, sales are doing pretty good. Tell me about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Get a little closer to my side.
a little closer.
Yeah, just a little
Got it.
closer. Gotcha, bro.
Sales, for the last year, I'm a small company, right?
Mm-hmm.
So last year, on average, I signed about 1 to 2 contracts per month, all of last year.
Yeah, cool.
And to me, that's
busy.
That's very busy, because for the most part, I'm a one-man show, right? Or
Right.
one-man team.
Right.
Going into this year, I wanted to keep the same momentum. So I told myself, well, for the first quarter, I want to sign 3 clients, right? That would be
One a month.
One a month.
Yeah.
Well,
Very reasonable.
Very
bro.
well.
And plenty of work.
Exactly, because a lot of my work rolled into this year,
Yeah.
right? And when the first quarter ended just a few days ago, I'm at 6 new clients already.
Damn.
So
Double.
So I doubled my goal, and that's just for the first quarter, right? And I have a lot of very good leads right now that we're meeting, several confirmed meetings. So who knows? Who knows if this year I'll double last year? Hopefully, that's the goal.
What do you think is driving that? Your ability to double the goal that you had for the first quarter?
And that's a fantastic question. I don't do a lot of marketing. I don't.
Yeah.
A lot of my clients are either word of mouth, referrals, but a lot of them are from social media. And we spoke about that last week in my office briefly, because he's like, man, talk about that on the podcast. Since I started, I do a lot of videos when I'm on the job sites.
Yeah.
I call it.
I've seen them. Yeah.
I call it like I'm on the field. I'm on the roofs. I'm the first one to show up, when we pour. And I just kind of briefly say what's going on.
It's kind of like reality TV, right?
I think so.
We're kind of in an era right now where you can do that. You can do your own shoots and your own commercials so instantly, put them on social media.
Oh, yeah.
And it's out to everybody.
But it's informative.
Yeah.
I've seen your videos, and you're not just out there like pouring concrete, pouring foundation. Like it's not that. It's more like you're in depth. You know what I mean? Like you'll walk your framing process. You'll show them what you're looking at. I've seen some of your videos,
That's
and
cool.
I mean when it's up, there's a lot of people don't know. There's a lot of people that don't know what they're looking at when they're walking a construction site.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
There's a lot of people, not just normal civilians that don't know about construction, even some people in the construction industry that don't know about construction. You walk like.
So the informative aspect,
Yeah.
obviously.
And my recommendation to that is, I'm not an expert by all means, but I love researching. I love learning the trades, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, our trade partners are probably the most important.
The most
important,
They got
but-
to get it done. We don't do the work; they do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
We
always
just
say
schedule.
that all
Yeah.
credit to, our teams, right?
And that's a good thing you say that. So you created a team. You have like your team of people that
yes.
and
Coaches.
that's fundamental, bro. You have to have a team.
Yeah.
You know, like because it creates consistency.
Well, you got to have a team of like good subs.
Yeah.
Correct. But you know, we've gone through the bad ones, right?
Because I've had teams.
It's not just a team.
Pretty good.
It's not just a team, a solid team,
Yeah, a
right?
solid team.
Not the B team.
Yeah, definitely. You want to definitely groom them to all be A-team players. Yeah.
And you know, as we build, you know, we've all had a share of bad trades, but you weed those out, right?
Yeah.
But going back to what I do, right, that informative aspect of it, I feel that I grab my trades respect, right? You know, being the first one at a job site, chopping it up with my roofer, you know, up there, asking him, hey, you know, this valley here and there, like actually caring, right, and giving a crap, right? That in turn, what I've known or what it's done to my company is they work very hard for me.
Yeah.
Like they know, like, man, this contractor,
You want to take care of your company.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of, I guess, piece of advice that I would give anybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, also, I'm
Take
pretty
care
sure
of the people that do the work.
you're a good guy by heart. You know that for what I know, the time that I've known you, and sometimes just respecting your subs goes a long way.
Yeah.
You know, there's many times where I've seen some people just really shame their subs, and I'm just like, man, at the end of the day, it's still a human being, bro.
That's sad. Like, why? I've heard those stories. Ronnie, have you?
I've been in those stories. Like, I've been on the flip side of both of those. Right. I have subs that, man, I've had a long time, and I'll go to bat with for them anytime. But I've also had those subs that just didn't care about the quality that we're trying to put forward. Right. And man, those conversations get tough sometimes. Yeah. It's a fine line, right? You want to make sure that you're educating them on your product and what you're doing. But you also want them to kind of care about their product and their quality. And when they don't, that can be a tough conversation.
It's kind of hard, right, to see a sub or to see.
I ain't gonna lie, I've gotten upset.
Of course,
no,
we
yes,
all
no,
have.
no, yes,
we all have.
Yeah. Correct.
But it's kind of hard to see a person. At least, one thing I try and tell the subs, you know, the subs that I use, like, have a little pride in what you do.
Yeah,
sure. No, well, I'm just a tile guy. Well, dude, be the best tile guy.
Right.
Why? Or no, I'm just a painter. Well, be the best painter, bro.
Yeah.
Have some pride in what you do.
Yep.
You know, don't just show up and just do the work because you're trying to get paid and whatever it is. You know, like if you have no pride in what you do, your work's not going to be any good.
I think with any like relationship, you go into it open minded, and you give the individual the benefit of the doubt, right?
Right.
And, you want to give them the opportunity to prove you right when you chose them to do the work, and sometimes it just doesn't work.
You know what? Talking about subs, what's one of the craziest experience you've had with a sub that you can be like, damn, like I've had this. Like
we threw down, we went to jail.
A couple of punches were swung. I think I missed all of them.
We are in a blue collar industry. Like it's happened before, not with me, but it's happened. I've seen it.
Before, I don't know that I've had a crazy, experience with the sub, or at least, I don't know, maybe I'll think of something right now. But before, when we were touching on like respect and all that, I do tell my subs this a lot. We're a team, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not your boss.
Yeah.
I genuinely say that, and I mean it. Like, don't call me patron. Like, we're a team.
Yeah.
I can't do this without you. You can't do this without me, right? We need each other.
Yeah. That's good.
I went to this conference where Coach K was the guest speaker.
Yeah.
He's retired now. Spent, I think, what was it, like 50 seasons with Duke University or something like that?
One of the greatest college coaches of all time.
I tried writing notes, but when I saw my notes, I had just written one thing that he said in the 60 minutes he spoke, right? I was just so
you were like mesmerized,
right?
You had me at what's up.
You had me at hi, right? Hey. But one of the things he said that what made him successful with all his teams, which is like what we do, right? We have our team, is that he would look them like dead in the eye and say, I believe in you.
Yeah.
And that's something that I feel it's so powerful, right? You know, if somebody tells
that
you
touches me, you saying it.
Yeah, that was
Ronnie's
pretty hardcore.
Yeah,
Ronnie
you
probably
believe in me?
Ronnie's like, really, man?
I'm gonna tear up. My goal is to make the interviewee tear up. I'm the one that's over here crying. Flipping this,
Putting him in his feelings.
Yeah.
Sorry,
flipping the table.
but I use that a lot, and I've used it. I had a small situation where one of my tile guys recently is like, man, I can't do this pattern. Or, you know, people now get on Pinterest and they make you all these intricate things, right?
Yeah.
And I literally said in Spanish, like, man, I believe in you, Pedro.
Yeah.
And I said, you got this. Turned out beautiful, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Again, little things that you can just tell your subs, right? And I think they'll work wonders for you. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna note that because I think I need to do that better.
Well, I think often. Like you never know what a person's going through. You never know what life. You never know what life a person has lived.
Yep.
Where these guys are coming from, or just anyone in general. But I think like for someone just to hear that and be like, "Hey, man, you can do it."
Yeah.
Hey, bro, I believe in you.
Let me just statistically, right? Because numbers for me kind of put things in perspective.
Okay.
And I say this all the time, man. We're the middle guy to everything.
The fireman.
Right? We got about 9,000 parts that go into building a house.
Yes.
About how many different personalities do you think you got to deal with on a daily basis to get that project from here to here?
Wait, you're dealing with personalities from the moment you wake up, bro. You have to, from the moment.
The multiple ones that I have in my head.
That was deep. That was deep. Is that what you meant?
Yeah,
bro. Call me out on live.
But you know what I mean?
I don't.
Like you like I have a dog, right? I deal with her little personality. You know, you deal with the personality of your wife or your girl.
Sure.
You deal with the personality of
kids.
You have to deal with your personalities as soon as you wake up, and then you have to go to a job site and you have to deal with framers, sheetrock, tile installer, and everyone's their own personality.
And so how many trades do we have in the construction business, right? Like chingos, right? Nobody's ever actually put a number to that. We should put a number to that. We should at the STBA know how many subs work in a job site and a standard residential.
Well, I mean, take a wild guess, 12 to 15?
I would say probably about 15.
15?
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because your list has 16 different.
It's got 16 divisions of work.
Yes, sir.
And each one of those has multiple. So I would say maybe probably more than that.
15 to 20, something like that.
Plus
because what do you consider, like, is the designer, like the drafter sub? Yeah, kind of, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You got your site guy, the guy that is going to go do the fill dirt.
Yep.
You got the concrete guy.
Yep.
You got
plumber.
You got your plumber that goes in for roughing, the electrician to put the conduit in. We got a
Framers.
We've got the roofer.
Yeah.
We got the insulation guy.
Yep.
We got the
HVAC.
drywall guy.
HVAC.
We missed that.
HVAC.
We're building a house literally right now, and we missed HVAC.
That's 10 already.
For y'all that don't know the steps, take notes.
Yeah. We got, what else do we have? We got the tile guy. That's 11. We got the trim guy, the tape and float guy, the painter. We didn't mention the painter. That's 14.
Your
millwork cabinet guy.
Man.
Damn.
So yeah, I mean, this obviously the list will continue. Let's say we call it 20 people.
Depending what you use.
Of those 20 subs, and that's just the subs. We also got all the vendors, right? Builders First Source, Matt's Cash and Carry.
Exactly.
We got
the people in the city you have to deal with.
Yeah, the city. Okay, so then just the subs. How many workers does each sub have?
Well, average 3, let's say.
Average 3 to 4. So now you're talking about 3 to 4 times 20. We're talking about 60 to 80. Mm-hmm. Just subs.
Yeah.
And that's being, I think, in my opinion, a little bit modest because the list would go on.
Definitely.
So let's say we're dealing with over 150, 200 personalities.
On one build.
One house.
One build.
9,000 parts.
Jesus.
Weather. Cities.
And if one thing goes wrong,
who's to blame?
Who's to blame?
Yeah, we are, right? And so
no wonder I'm going crazy right now.
It's definitely not a job for the
No, it's definitely not a job for the weak, bro.
It's not easy.
No, it's not.
And
it's not easy
at all.
And then you got clients get a little upset if things get past the deadline, and you're trying to make it work, and then now not to call out any electric companies, but Magic Valley can't seem to get anything installed, or they're waiting for transformers because in Iowa, where they make them, they shut down the plant and they've got COVID, and China decided to shut down everything again, and there's no chips and there's no plastic, and so over 9,000 parts, over 200 personalities, spinning plates all over the place, and we got to make that.
You're not even talking about the people that you deal with in your office. You know what I mean?
And I can't talk about them right now because they're listening. But I'll tell you later.
But that's wild because that's all the personalities that we have to come across of.
Yeah.
And then you as the main component have to keep your cool. And the day that you don't, it's like you're the bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
All the time.
You know what I mean? So it's like it takes a very special character to be a builder or to do what we do.
But going back to Mr. Bello here, one thing that you said, I don't remember when it was, but it was something that you said that kind of stuck to me about what you're like as a builder. And you mentioned your clientele and taking care of them and informing them and trying to educate them on the process and their home and all that stuff. Touch a little bit on that and why that makes you successful.
Sure. So right now, just to quantify things, right? So to put it into perspective, especially what we just talked about, how there's so many moving parts. Mm-hmm. On the ground, I have 11 custom homes. And I've never had 11 custom homes.
Okay, so let's multiply 11 times 9,000 parts. That's 99,000 parts.
I couldn't even have made the math, but there you go. That's what I have on the ground. And it's challenging.
Yeah.
I tell, I mean, all of my clients are, like I said, they're custom clients, right? So every house is so different.
Yeah.
I have anywhere from 2,500 square foot to 3,500 square feet total, right? So They're not massive houses, but man, 9 of them. And I just tell my clients, look, this industry, as we mentioned, it's difficult. There are so many moving parts, mm-hmm. right? There's vendors, there's trades, there's weather delays. There's still a shortage of some materials. So it's tough. And I just tell them, look, at least with me, you're always going to get it straight. Like, I'm going to give you communication. It may be good, it may be bad news.
You might not like it.
You may not like it.
Yeah, but it's real.
My clients, they're not left hanging, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And again, some of these conversations, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like, no, some of them are tough. Like, hey, mm-hmm. My mason, he's 3 weeks out. I don't like to switch my crews. So
yeah, I can experiment with somebody new, Mr. Customer, but I don't know what you're going to get. So either we wait for him, or I put somebody else in. And I think most of us would rather use our guys.
I'd rather wait. And just because I know that the product is going to be good.
Right.
We have already a good system in place, right? Like, hey, we know what material we're going to use. We just have a system, right? So I'd rather wait. But I think that's what is making me successful, right? Just having that communication with my clients. I like to at least give them an update once a week, just to brief, hey, what was done, what didn't get done, right? If something didn't get done, if drywall didn't come in, well, why not, right?
Mm-hmm. But that's really good, dude. That's really good because it's communication. And in any relationship, the same that you build with a client, it's communication.
Yep.
So you doing that, it shows, one, that you care, and two, that you're not hiding anything. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's transparency.
If you're not communicating with your girlfriend, bro, trust me, it ain't gonna work.
It ain't gonna work.
Yeah. And that's kind of the same thing here. That, and then I'm highly organized. At least I like to think that I am, right? But a lot of people do say that, man, like, you're organized.
That's awesome.
For each project, I have a Word document, right? And I have like a to-do list per project. So let's just say 11 of those Word documents right now. And then I have a master, like a note, like on your phone, on your iPhone, like the notes, mm-hmm. right? So I'm always constantly updating those. Yeah. And I see those like, every other day. So I know I can stay on top of it because of all those moving parts, right? Yeah.
You know what? Something that you said that I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that caught my attention was like that you're a one-man show. You know what I mean? And like it's you and you're running with these 11 projects.
No assistant, no nothing.
Not necessarily. Like right now, I'm training one of my oldest sisters to my oldest sisters, I should say, to help out. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got a full-time job.
Yeah.
Sometimes I call up my mom. I grew up without a dad, so I don't have a dad. But my mom was always, parents are always going to be there for you, right?
Right.
So she's starting to kind of help me out with those errands. Those errands that is like, to us, 1 hour or 2 hours, man.
It matters.
It matters. Time is money, right?
It matters.
But for what they can do, the brunt of it is me. So it's tough, but I have to stay organized and write these things down. So if not, I'll forget them.
But in a way, do you feel like that gives you a little bit more? I mean, it should give you more control, right? Like, do you feel like that gives you more control? Because you could be like, man, I got a team, and I got this guy running construction, I got this guy and all this stuff. But sometimes having too many hands in a pot, it kind of. There's a lot of things that can like money in construction flies. Mm-hmm. Money in construction flies, and
mess ups aren't
they're not cheap.
They're not cheap.
They're not cheap. So do you think like you being just like your one man show? Yeah, you're training your sister and good stuff like that, but it gives you more control overall over your product as well.
Absolutely, because when people have told me, man, Eddie, you need help. You need your project manager, right?
I mean,
I keep hearing that.
Grow, like,
and I do, and I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But right now, it's still hard for me to let go, man. It's like so hard.
Give that like
I handle everything,
trust.
Permits, returning material or ordering material, the trades, the accounting, the paychecks on Fridays.
Yeah.
But yes, it's getting a little bit like, man, I need help. But it's just still hard, right, to let go, to fully let go.
The natural progression of a builder, man, is exactly what you're going through, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah, you're in, especially if you want to be a good builder. You're totally into what your product and what you're putting out and the customer service and all that. At some point, you're gonna have to.
Yeah,
right.
No, absolutely.
You're gonna have to let go.
Everyone needs help at some point.
Yeah, especially. I mean, if you're gonna grow, you can't do it all. It's impossible.
It is.
You'll drive yourself insane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
it excites me.
I think
I get excited over this. Like I told Ronnie the other day. I always mention Ronnie, like, this shit ain't work, bro. Like, yeah, you go crazy. I mean, dude, I tell people I live on the road. Like, I live on the road. Like, my life is on the road. Like that's why you don't see me in a huge truck. That's why you don't see me. I got rid of my Beamer. Like, I was like, screw this car. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, dude, like, cause I'm on the road, bro.
Same.
Like, I get on the road, man. I'm on the road 8 o'clock the latest, 9 the latest, just depending how the morning's going. And after that, like, I'm not back till 6, 7.
Yeah,
know?
constantly doing this.
that's literally my schedule. Yeah.
Two phones, boom, 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 boom. Texting over here, texting while you're driving through construction.
That's the life of
story
a
of our
busy
lives, right?
right?
Yeah, story of our lives.
That's how I am. I think I'm working a little bit more than my wife would like.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Well, and that's the other thing, right? Okay, so let's jump into that, right? Because you gotta, if you're balancing, your work schedule and you've got all that organized and then you're doing great, man. 12 homes a year plus is awesome, and being able to handle that on your own is it's
amazing.
Kudos. Yeah, it's kudos.
It's amazing.
But then you still got to balance your family life, right? You got a baby.
Has it affected?
Baby, she's going to turn 2 in June.
Yeah,
love her to death, and my wife is pregnant.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
Congratulations! What are you gonna have?
Another girl.
That's cool. So you got one.
I have
2 now. You're gonna have 2.
I'm gonna have 2.
Gotcha.
2 girls.
Yeah,
Two girls.
Yeah, our firstborn Gianna, she'll be 2 in June, and it's also the same month that my second
June
daughter, 22nd.
Oh, cool. She's Cancer, right?
She's a Cancer.
Yeah. I don't know.
Cancer's
what are they?
sweet. My mom's a Cancer.
Yeah, Cancers are sweet.
Yeah.
They hurt, bro.
Yeah.
They won't show it, but they got a lot of feelings, bro.
Yeah, they do.
I don't keep up with the horoscope, man. Sorry.
Let's not talk about the mothers right now.
That's the other podcast that starts tomorrow.
The horoscope.
Anyway, all right. So you got another baby on the way.
She's also due in June.
Yeah.
So they'll be exactly 2 years apart. But yes, it's tough, right? Because more often than not, my head is in construction, man. Like you said,
you can't just switch it, right? If you're working from 8 to 8,
that's literally
you get home. You're
Bro,
gonna eat.
I was working,
and then you gotta turn the switch on, turn the switch off from go, delegate, do this, do that, order this, order that.
Yeah.
And now, hey, sweetie.
how do you ever turn off the switch? Like a person like yourself that you just don't build, you just don't deal with clients, you just don't deal with your subs, you just don't deal with your people in your office, but you also design your product. How do you not get the urge to want to go keep designing on your computer, bro?
It gets a little tough sometimes, and that's why I'm going crazy.
Same. I think I said that earlier.
I mean, we already established the fact that I
Multiple
need a therapist.
personalities, right?
Yeah, I need a therapist. If anybody out there is willing to take me on as a patient, let me know. There's a long line of to see a therapist is a little complicated. And shout out to any therapists that have some free time. Anyway,
So how do you turn it off? Like, how do you do it?
If I'm being completely honest, I can't.
yeah,
I can't. You can't. At least I haven't learned how to completely turn it off, right? But my wife is amazing, bless her heart, because we have conversations, and we do have difficult conversations, right? Where I am working a lot, but I do it for my family, right? First and foremost, for her, for our daughters. But it is tough because, man, I have so much things going on. I get home, we have dinner, I put my phone to the side, we watch TV, go lay down, and then I'm back on my phone, getting ready for the next day.
yeah.
But I do devote, the weekend to them as much as I can, because we work weekends too.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of my clients want to walk the sites on a Saturday.
Yeah.
On their days off.
On their days off, right?
Yeah.
So
Which means you don't
Yeah.
get
A day
very
off.
many.
correct. So we've compromised, and for right now, my Sunday has to be
Free.
and I need it. We need it, right? We need at least I need one full day, which is typically Sundays,
You
to
gotta
just
charge yourself.
not even look at my phone, because I get anxiety.
Yeah.
I just try to turn it off. But to answer your question, man, it takes my wife is a very strong woman, and she accepts what I'm doing, right? And she sees a bigger picture. She realizes that I'm doing all this for them, and she's understanding. That's helped us, right? Because we do work, man. I don't even want to quantify it. I don't know how many hours we do a week, but what is it? 12 hours a day?
It's
minimum?
your life.
It's your life, right?
your
So
life.
You don't really turn it off.
you don't. I can't. Yeah, I don't think we can.
And even when you're at home and I've caught myself, like, all the conversations that I have with my dad, they're all about it's just it's not even to us. It's not work.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
just like, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. This is what's next. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's nonstop. Bro.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean?
I get
We
it.
could be
That's awesome.
barbecuing, and it's just like, hey, wait, boss, we're doing this over here, and this house is over here, and it's just, but
It's just nonstop.
It's just nonstop. But it, like I said, like some people, it's not work. Like this is it's my life. You know?
I get it. And so, like, going back to your kiddos, right? Because you want to be there,
Absolutely.
and you want to.
Yeah.
You don't want to miss the first step and the first.
Dude, but what you're
Word.
doing is for your kids, man. That's one thing I admire. Like, whenever you talk about, like, man, I'm trying to leave a legacy for my kids.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to make sure that I leave something for them that to be proud of, or I leave something, and that's really cool, because nothing that we're doing right now, not one thing we will take with us. So that's one thing that's why I work so hard and endlessly, and I'm very careful in the way I spend my money, and I'm very careful the way I move. I have friends that are like, no, no haces nada, no sales, no, you don't go. Bro, I'm like, I'm not there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm on a different level, like, mentally, what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to accomplish. Like, like, I see where I want to be, and I think that you have that vision as well for a young builder, and I respect it, because to be so grounded at your age and with what you're doing, it takes a special person to see the bigger picture and not lose themselves, one, in the money, two, in the attention. You know what I mean? And I commend it as a person because, you know, I see all sorts of different people come in and out, and people get lost, bro. People get lost, and it's not an immense amount of money that you're making in one chingazo, because by the time money starts coming in, you need that money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not like, oh, you're making a lump sum of money. No, like you're working to keep working and to keep going. So it's like people that understand that see it, but also you can see like people that also get lost, bro. They get lost, and there's a lot of young builders our age around. I mean, you're 4 years older than I am.
How old are you?
33.
33.
Mm-hmm.
33. That's
33.
great, man.
That's awesome, right?
Yeah, dude, you're killing it for 33.
That's awesome. You know, how did you get into this? Like, how did you like? All right, I'm gonna start building.
Yeah, who does that?
Yeah.
Like, who chooses this path?
Man,
And why?
Why did you choose this?
I grew up in the industry, so I got an excuse. You know what I mean? But you, bro,
could have done anything else. You decide to work, you know, 12, 13 hours every day. Man, so this is literally
and literally like, and you know what, man? You're gonna have so much work, so much stress. You're probably barely gonna be making it at the beginning. Like,
that is the realest. That is the realest.
Love you. It's like, why?
You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna lose money. Trades are gonna take advantage of you. Yeah. Happened to me. Yeah.
If you knew all the stuff that happens in this industry as a builder, like, would you choose to do it again? I don't know.
No.
So, but Eddie decided to. So, what was the reasoning, man? Why'd you get into this business?
Man, it's gonna start off with, well, obviously how I started, right? It's the story of when I tell it, and it's a story of a spec home that took me 6 years to build.
Yeah. Shit.
That's how I started.
Hey, scratch that from the record. We don't want to promote that for Eddie.
But let me explain, man. Right? So
I like how he laughs about it too. He's like, it took me 6 years.
Hey, man,
I didn't know what I was doing.
It took me an extra couple months to finish the house. I got a guy over here taking 6 years. Like, give me a break.
It came down to two things, man. I didn't know what I was doing, and I had no money.
Okay.
But I wasn't afraid, right?
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, but this is how it started. Everybody asked, man, Eddie, you're so busy the last 2 years. The last 2 years, you're kicking ass, right? But, man, this is just now. That first build, I started it in 2012. I mean,
2012.
That's what
the economy's not doing very well down here.
This guy finished in 2018.
Yes, literally, right?
Yeah, 12 plus 6 is 18, bro.
I just finished it last year, by the way.
Yeah. We're still punching it out. Actually, I got warranty items.
I don't have CO, man, but
I got people living in it.
Don't say what city is it.
Man, oh goodness.
Wow.
So why? Okay, so 6 years because.
Well, at that time I was in my early 20s.
Okay.
Right. I was still in college. I hadn't even gotten my bachelor's.
I remember this story. Anyway, cool.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I hadn't gone to grad school yet. I mean, I was.
What you're in school and college? You're studying what?
Criminal justice.
Yeah. Nada que ver.
Hey.
It's okay. Yeah. I'm not gonna knock you on it, but you went to school, bro.
I went to school, right? I
Some of the people that work in these houses are criminals, bro. That's where you use that.
There you go.
Degree.
Yeah, there you go, man. So
they're all good people.
Man.
I don't want any hate mail.
Right?
Any hate comments?
Yeah. Just kidding.
So, man, I got a lot, in, I'll say the city, in San Juan. I got a lot in San Juan in an up-and-coming subdivision. At this time, I got the lot for $24,000.
Unheard of.
Heard of back then, right?
Now.
Not now.
That's silly.
And it was like a 7,500 square foot lot. I mean, you know what they are now, but now
town lot.
But now they're 60,000, right?
Yeah.
So I got in again. I was super green. I got into the worst financing deal possible, right? Owner finance with I couldn't even tell you what interest, but I was paying $300 a month on the lot.
You skipped a really important step. Why though?
Like how did that happen?
You went into started building this house. Okay, but why did you decide? You know what? I'm gonna build a house.
Like how did that happen?
So I wanted to start with the lot because, or actually started with how long it took me. Right?
Was this house gonna be for you, or did you have the intention of always building it to sell it?
Like I always had my mother as my mentor. Right? I'm the youngest of. I have 3 older sisters. I'm the only one that went to college. I'm the only one that really was interested in, pursuing a degree, getting a career, all that. So she always...
You were driven by a career.
Correct.
Cool.
She always guided me though, right? She herself contracted her own house when we were little. She built it on her own.
Mm-hmm. Really? Your mom did?
Yes, man. Yeah. The people that are closest to me know this, right?
Yeah,
like
cool.
she... to this day, I use her electrician.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Cool.
So he's been with us for, 20 years because when she started in the early 2000s, when she built our house, she ended up building my sister's house. So that, to answer your question, at this time I was a teenager. I was kind of like following her around, right?
Cool.
You're a product of your environment at the end of the day, right? And if your mom's doing this stuff, you're like, oh.
Yeah,
I could do that.
I never cared for it that early on, though.
Yeah.
I really didn't.
I don't think
right?
you do as a kid.
I didn't. I
didn't
didn't
appreciate it as a kid.
I didn't say, man, I want to be a builder.
Right.
Right. I didn't think anything of it, to be very honest. But that's what made me get into it because she was like, hey, you're young, buy a lot. I don't want to buy a lot. I want to buy a new car. I want to have money. But she guided me in that, right? To invest in real estate. Because she's done it, she had done it herself. She didn't have the volume, she did like one or two houses really, but she planted that seed.
Yeah,
right. Like, yeah, sure. So I bought a lot or whatever, and then I slowly started building on it, thinking either it was going to be for me, thinking it was just, well, man, maybe I can sell it, right? But I had no real money. I was still in college, so anything that I could. Any leftover funds I had from my paychecks, from my financial aid, all that.
That you took part of your school loan to.
Yeah, man. Like anything I had.
We should probably cut that.
Yeah, I don't want to. What is it called?
Implicate yourself.
How amazing, right?
Yeah.
Like the will and drive to. The will and drive to want to do something.
Well, because think about it. Like you're in college and you're going to take out this loan, and loans in that time period are like, shit, I gotta pay this back. Like it's a big. Those are adult decisions.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, nah, I'm gonna take that money and I'm gonna make some money. Right? I'm gonna build this thing and I'm gonna make some money.
At that point, I just had no options. That's really it. I was working, probably a part-time job, and I was making little money, but everything I did have, I'd put it into the house.
Right.
And I did this for, again, 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah. 2012. So you're 33 right now. You were 22.
22, 23.
22 was I doing.
I was about to say,
Dumb shit.
That's why.
I was too. It was a combination of both.
You were balancing your life.
There was times when I was telling Mara, man, I wanted to just quit. I wanted to. I like 2 times I offered it to anybody. Hey man, here's this house. It's like 50% done. I have no money to finish it.
Give me something.
Give me something, right? And that's really it, man. It just, and at that.
Do you have a picture of this house?
Yes.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Can you send it to Ronnie so Ronnie can put it on the screen?
I want to put it in my office.
You should,
because
bro.
Send it to Ronnie right now when you get a chance.
Because, again, besides not having substantial money and not knowing what I was doing, I went in there with the wrong attitude. I'm going to build the biggest and nicest house. Because the more I put into this house, the more money I'm going to get for it.
Right.
We know that's not the case, right?
Right.
It's a balance.
It's on the appraisal. And sure, we can maybe, but still, you want to conform to the neighborhood.
Right.
I didn't do that. I built a 3,200 square foot mansion. I built a 3,200 square foot spec house. TPO roofing that I didn't even know what that meant at that time. I just thought it looked cool because it was flat. Never done another one since then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interior doors, 8-foot interior, solid doors.
Yeah.
Like, who does this on the first spec,
You do.
right? Well,
You do, bro.
Eddie Bale does this.
I guess I did that. So that's the reason, man. It ended up being a very costly build.
I'm going to go all out on the first one.
And we know that's not really what you should do, right? At least I don't recommend it.
Right.
Yeah,
I wouldn't recommend it. If somebody tells me, well, if you did it, how come I can't? Well, maybe you can, but man, it took me 5 years, bro, or 6 years. Like, anyways, when I finally finished in 2017, I told Mark, don't ask me how much I spent on it. I don't know. No. I was just like
Everything. Yeah,
right?
that's the right answer, right? I spent all of it.
All of it, right?
Emotional too.
Yeah.
Emotional too.
Hey, sweat equity too, right?
Yeah.
I remember doing my own landscaping, which wasn't much. I just ordered the pallets of grass, and I was like, dude,
But that's what
I'll
it
do
takes,
it,
bro.
Yeah.
That's what it takes.
I was like,
This is easy. I can put this grass down, and then you get to the first pallet, bro, and you're like,
that's what happened.
Just to save yourself the money.
that's a workout. Anyway, so let me call somebody to put the rest of these down.
How much would you charge me to finish this, man? Oh man,
We've all been there, bro.
yeah.
Okay.
So finally in 2017, I had already graduated with my bachelor's degree. I think I had started grad school already. I was what they say more mature, right? 5 years, it's more mature, right? I was like, well, maybe I should start an LLC because I'm about to sell this house. Let me do it the right way. I have a buddy of mine, several, they're attorneys. I told him, hey, man, can you set it up for me? They set it up for me. And at this point, then I started, the light bulb started clicking, right? I was like, man,
business out of this.
if I sell this house, how much am I going to make?
I'm gonna be rich.
I'm going to be rich.
That's what everybody thinks on their first house.
And I got a realtor to go out there, and she's like, yeah, man, we're going to list it. I remember at that time for $245,000. The only thing I owed at this point was the lot that I had gotten 6 years before that, right?
Yeah.
I got it for $24,000. When the house sold, I still owed $24,000 on that lot.
Yeah. You were just paying the interest.
Yes. So at the end of the day, man, I think
How much did you make on the house? I made like $50.
I made $50. Hey, man, better than $0.
That's true. Better than negative zero.
Better than negative. Man, but when I got that check, when we closed, it sold 2017. It was like a little bit over 225,000 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
It was 215. To me, it felt like that all that was profit.
Yeah.
That's the honest truth. I was like, man, I have a check for $220,000. What do I do with this, right? But again, luckily at this point, I had already set up the
buy
LLC.
some rims.
I want to buy some rims.
I'm
gonna
gonna lift my truck.
Buy some 22
I'm
spinners.
gonna lift my truck.
Yeah. No, man.
Obviously, Eddie didn't do that.
Yeah, I didn't. I went and put it in a bank. At this point, I went to talk to a local bank, right? Because I had already done research. Like, man, if I want to build again, what do you got to do, right? And one of the first things you want to do business with the local bank. Okay. Because I went to Chase before that. At that point, I was banking with Chase, and I found out real quick they're not going to help you, right?
Right.
And as soon as I did that, I went and bought my second lot. I got a construction loan. I had money in the bank. The lender at that point was like, yeah, we'll just deposit that check over here. And I was like, I'll do whatever you want me to do as long as you give me a construction loan so it doesn't take me another 6 years to build a house.
Right. That's awesome.
So-
and it was a local bank.
It was Texas Regional Bank.
Texas Regional.
Cool. Yeah.
Nice.
So shout out to them because they gave me the first
You
opportunity.
need to get them on STBA. Are they? No, they're not.
No, they're not.
Yeah. I bank with them too. They're
Yeah.
good people.
Give them a call.
Yeah.
Go give them a visit.
But yeah,
Who's your loan officer over there? Just curious.
when that was, I use Real Bank now.
Oh, gotcha.
I mean, I use a combination. I use Lone Star.
Pip 'em all.
Shout out to all of them. You guys
Yeah.
are all great, right?
Yeah.
But it just depends, right, on the situation.
They're definitely part of the equation.
Lone Star Bank supports STBA. They were actually the first bank and partner to support us.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Support the builders.
They're
Yeah.
awesome. They're awesome.
And I think now they're doing quarterly. They're doing a meeting for all the builders and partners of STBA.
Yep.
And bringing down industry professionals to talk, which is really cool. We've got the calendar set up for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
That's
so
good.
kudos
That's
to
awesome.
Lone Star.
Absolutely.
Local bank.
Shout out Sebby.
Shout out to Zebby, yeah, for sure. Luis Moreno is currently working on a loan for me, so shout out to him too.
Come on, Luis, pull through.
So what's
got
the
this,
ETA,
baby.
by the way? I believe in you.
I believe in you. And he said, look you in the eye, I can't do it right now, but I believe in you.
Man, he's going to close that thing
Yeah,
in 24
I'm sure.
hours.
I'm
man.
sure.
Wow.
But
that's amazing.
man, I guess that was just a very long-winded answer to how I started. So everybody's starting point in this is different, right?
Yeah.
Me, in that spec that I built, I had a lot of lessons, man. I was super green, obviously.
You went through all the mistakes, I'm sure,
I did.
on the first one.
I gave a cabinet maker, I think it was at that time like $3,000. Never saw him again.
That would hurt.
I had a guy doing cantera for me, kind of towards the end, and he fell. Broke 6 ribs.
Oh.
So I don't want to get in trouble, but we worked it out, right?
Scratch that from the record also,
part,
please.
But I took care of him. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
So I went through that. Man, just a lot of learning curves, man. A lot. A lot of it was like I told Mario, I didn't want to do that anymore. I was like, man, how am I? There was some times when I was like, I'm not gonna come up with this money, man, to finish. But I grinded it out, for 5-6 years. Like, here, man, max out this credit card.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and then just whatever it took until I finally sold it.
Yeah.
When we listed it, it sold within 2 months.
To this day, you still don't know how much profit you made out of it?
I don't
Whether
know.
you did or not.
I
Yeah.
don't know the profit margin, but to me, it felt like when I got that check, it was like, oh, this is profit, baby.
Yeah.
That's like 6 years in the making, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And since then, I have not looked back.
Yeah.
In 2018, 2019, I did like a few specs, and then just from that momentum, just
you were
not looked
a
back.
lender as well, right?
I did for about 3 years.
How was that? How do you feel like that helped you in a way to when you're a builder now that you're a builder?
This was recent, this was the last 3 years, and I did it primarily because, for one, like I mentioned from the beginning, if I don't know something, I want to
Learn it.
A lot of clients would ask me about financing and stuff like that. So I got my license, and it just so happens that I have some very awesome friends that are lenders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the guys at Cross Country Mortgage.
Shout out.
Yo, join STBA,
Jerry,
baby.
Jerry.
Jerry, Hernan.
Come on,
Jerry's
Hernan. You want to join.
He does. I'll talk to them. But great guys, man. Absolutely. To this day, the majority of my construction loans are with them, right? They got me into the business as I was already building specs, right? Like, hey man, be a lender. And I was like, well, at this time I wasn't that busy like I am right now. Mm-hmm. So I had the time for it. And the lending is tough. Shout out to every lender, because it's not a part-time gig. It's not something that it's hard.
Yeah.
So I learned as much as I could until late last year. I said, man, I
can't do it.
I got all these customs on the ground, more in the pipeline, more right now. At a point, you can't be too greedy, right? I said, hey, I can't do this.
You can't do it all.
You can't do it all.
Enough time in a day.
Yeah. So, but to answer your question, to how it was, like I said, it's definitely a full-time, something you have to do full-time. You have to put a lot of work into it. That's why we know a lot of lenders are very successful, right? But they put a lot of work into it. And I did it, pretty much it made me well-versed in the financing side. I can answer some questions now.
And you'll be able to speak the language too.
Correct. Yeah. But I did that. It's just I can't, man. It's just, I'm like all in. I'm absolutely all in on the custom builds that I have. I haven't even done a spec.
Yeah.
Because,
you're
busy,
yeah.
Yeah, just customs, it just takes so much time.
But you paid the price.
Man, yeah. But so for anybody that says, man, how can I start if I have no money? Well, you can. But you're just going to have, it maybe take you a little bit longer.
It might take you 6 years.
Yeah. But would I do it all over again? Yes and no. Yes, because of all the lessons it taught me, right? I put a lot of work into it, physically too, right? But man, it was a lot of times I wanted to throw in the towel. But
let me ask you a question, bro. If you had an organization like STBA when you first started, how much would that have helped you?
Man, I thought about that because to answer your question, I guess to begin, that in itself, what we have now, and not just because we're on this podcast, but if you're in this organization and you get caught in a situation or you don't know the answer to something, if you don't know the process, if you need a trade, all it takes is, hey, on that group chat,
Yeah.
I need a framer.
Yeah.
I need XYZ. And you're going to get one.
Yep.
Then I had nobody.
Yeah.
And even at that, I remember it was in 2012, not one single friend that I knew was in construction.
Yeah. Shit.
Now you can walk in anywhere and you're going to run into a builder.
Yep.
But what I'm trying to say is that with this organization, it's happened to me. 2 years ago, I needed a framer. Somebody from the organization sent me theirs, and till this day, he's my framer.
He's still your framer.
He's still my
That's
framer.
badass.
That's awesome.
You didn't have to experiment. You didn't have to try to weed through a bunch of different framers.
We have the good trades in our organization.
Yeah.
All you have to do is ask.
Yep.
Right? To whereas back then, like I mentioned, man, I was blind, green. And I was just like, man, calling different trades. Some would, like I said, some walked out on me. But it's really hard for that to happen if you're in this organization.
Yeah.
If you ask, hey, I'm going to use a new trade, any recommendations? One of us has used him or
sure.
has heard of him.
Yep.
Right. Or, hey, I'm going to start my first spec. Do you recommend a 3,200 square foot spec with TPO roofing?
No.
We're probably going to be...
The answer to that is no, Eddie.
We're going to say no.
Redesign,
reconfigure your plans. Hey, or man, do you recommend, or, how much is drywall or anything?
Yeah.
This organization has it, right?
That's awesome.
So to anybody that is going to start, you have the team here, man.
Yeah.
You have the team.
Yep.
You don't
Cool,
want to
man.
take 6 years.
And that the education too.
Yeah.
When you did that workshop on your breakdown on how you do, you run your projects and stuff, no one's going to teach you that.
I mean, numbers never lie, bro. And if you can dissect them and learn them and show people how to do them, I mean, you're a better builder for it.
But who's going to teach you that?
Nobody.
You know
Nobody.
what I mean? Who's gonna put it up on a huge screen and be like, this is how I do it?
Yeah.
Like, and I go, and you went through each one, like you see that and you're like how you said, if you had that, but when you started, would you had gone through all those headaches that you did?
Yeah, absolutely not. Because I would have seen on paper, like Ronnie has showed us, man, that's what you're going to spend.
Don't forget this.
And I would have been like, can't afford that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's just...
Man, when I gave that presentation, I was really expecting like a few guys to go to sleep because we're literally going through a spreadsheet line by line. No, man. Everybody was tuned in, taking notes. It's a good thing, bro.
It's a good thing because, like I said, no one has that, bro.
Yeah.
Think about it.
That's awesome.
And no one's going to give you their secrets. Ain't nobody going to be like, hey, this is how I do it, because that's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
That's just the way people are kind of wired in a way.
But I think that truly, if you want to be successful at anything, you got to try to help people out. When you create a network of people that are like-minded, and that in and of itself, that network, in my opinion, and if this is a social experiment, we'll see how it works out. But I truly think that it'll help everybody rise.
Definitely. I never expected, as growing up and going up parade of homes and seeing you there and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I never thought. I still remember this one time. It was the parade of homes, and I had gotten up to go take a piss. I was like, man, I gotta go rush. And they're giving awards and all this stuff, and I'm like, whatever. And Ronnie walks in there, and I was like, dude, you had a badass house. He's like, yeah, thanks, man. Whatever. I'll never forget it because it was like Ronnie to me was that guy in that Tesla. You had that Tesla, and it was like, never did I ever think in my wildest dreams that now he's a friend.
Yeah.
And now I have a friend with all these other builders that I used to personally think that they were my competition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd be like, nah, I don't hang out with those guys. Like, nah, for real. It was funny because, I mean, I wasn't the builder. It was my dad. You know, I was just the one that was sitting at the whatever, helping him out or whatever at the time. But it was just like, however I could and not get in his way. But it was weird because they used to have that sense of competition.
It was weird at the time. Yeah, it was very competitive.
It was very competitive, and it was like, it was funny because Mr. V had actually mentioned that there used to be a time you would have an open house, and it would be like, hey, what are you doing here? Like,
why are you walking in my house?
Why are you walking in my house?
You're not gonna buy it, are you?
Yeah, like why are you taking pictures and shit? And now it's like,
pinche copión.
Yeah. No, man, they come in and they're taking all my ideas. Okay. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, all right, bro.
All right, but now it's like, it's not like that. Like now it's like, hey, like, you know, ¿qué onda? How you doing? We should go grab lunch. Like, where are you at? And what are you building? Where you like? It's crazy. It's amazing how the spectrum has really flipped,
shifted.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can definitely vouch for that because I had never hung out with other builders or had lunch or go have a beer, anything, you know, until the organization started. And going back to the competition, I think what we're doing is we're letting everybody know, hey, going back to what I said earlier, we're a team, man. If you need help, you're gonna help me out.
Yeah.
Right? We have each other's back. The competition itself, there's plenty of work for everybody.
And it's gonna keep growing.
It's abundant.
If I tell myself, like, if you do good, you're a good builder and you really care, you're gonna get business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't have to be like, oh man, look at what somebody else is doing. Like at least me, I compete with myself every morning.
Yeah.
I don't have time where I don't see, man, what does everybody do? How much are they selling? Like, man, just focus on your business and just know that everybody's here to help. If you have a question, hey man, I need, like I said, there was a time I needed a framer. And another builder who I respect highly sent it over to me really quick. So I think that's what this organization is about. Yeah. Right. But
one thing that you said that I think is pretty cool was that you said that you don't have that marketing aspect going and marketing like Bello Construction all out, you know, through medias and stuff. And word of mouth is very important. Mm-hmm. Word of mouth is very important. And most of construction comes through word of mouth, mm-hmm. you know, like, and I'm going to talk on a little bit on the fact that on my real estate side, sure. right? On selling properties and stuff like that, I can tell you this and you're going to be like, no fucking way. But I have never sold a property or anything in that matter besides getting renters for my apartments through social media. I have never sold, let me repeat that. I have never sold a house, ever sold a house. I've never sold a fourplex. I've never sold a piece of land besides getting renters through social media. And it's crazy. I could pay $100, $200 on all this marketing stuff for Facebook.
And it doesn't work for you?
And it's never generated a buyer for a house. It works to get renters. Yeah. And a friend of mine told me, like, hey, wait, do it like this. Get on this and put it for rent, and you're going to get them. And it works, bro, like a hotcake. Yeah. People start calling me crazy. But for a house, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It really doesn't work for a house. To me, the product sells itself.
If you're focusing on the product, right?
The product sells itself. All this stuff about the marketing and the pictures and all this glitz and glamour and all this show, because it's a show. Most of the successful realtors, it's a show. You know what I mean? Like they're putting on a show. It's not. It doesn't take much to put a house on MLS. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just clicking, putting information, and that gets, you know how it is. It gets shot through all the networks. But with that simple MLS, that's what sells your house.
Yeah.
I
need to get a realtor in here because I think we want to get some feedback from them on what they do to sell, right? Because we've got our techniques and stuff,
right?
But they do it on a daily basis. Sometimes we're focused on building the house. We're not necessarily always focused on selling, and they are.
Because
we need to get somebody in here. Jaime, shout out to you, man.
Shout out, Jaime.
Or Patty.
I want to
get you guys in here.
One of the things is like, it's never generated a buyer.
Yeah.
And there was a time where I had a whole subdivision I had to sell. And I even put it on Facebook. I was like, open invitation to any realtor that's willing to come. I'm giving a certain percentage, whatever. And I won't lie, but only 6 realtors showed up.
Yeah.
And out of those 6 realtors, Patty was one of them. And it was her whole team.
Oh, awesome.
And it was her and her whole team. And she shows up and she was like, to give me the info and whatever. But dude, I put it up for everybody. And I'm telling everybody like, hey, this is how much I'm going to give on your percentage and all that stuff. That happened through Facebook. And out of that, only one person on her team got me a buyer. Besides that, everything else was just sold. Hey, calling through the sign. Hey, I saw your listing on MLS. I saw it on realtor.com. Yeah. But it was never like, I've never had a house. Really? Never. I don't know if maybe I'm just not using the correct wording.
You need to use more emojis.
More emojis.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy because I've had, I don't know, maybe for other realtors it works. I don't know.
I'm not good at selling houses either, man. For me, it's I usually use somebody, a Jaime, a realtor. I'm realtor friendly. And so they usually push them for me. That's kind of been my...
No, I could show you a house, bro. I could show you a house and I can walk you out. I can explain a house to you. That's not a problem. It's just the social media aspect of it. To me personally, it's just never generated a buyer.
I guess for me, because that's a social media. Earlier when I spoke a little bit about social media is just my videos, right? Those informative videos or being at job sites. That's generated to me very good leads and it's just maximizing those leads, right? Because I don't have a marketing team. I don't pay for marketing. So that, and then just posting some photos on my Bello Construction Instagram, right? Even my Instagram, it's not like, if you look at it, I've seen some really nice pages. Mine's just like what I post.
Yeah.
But to me personally, it has generated buyers.
It supplements the Bello product. Right?
Correct.
Being able to put those videos up, because I think when somebody's buying a house, it's the biggest purchase that they're making, right, in their lives. Most people,
for sure.
And they've got to make the decision on who they're going to have build it. And in order to make that decision, you got to have a little bit of trust. And to have a little bit of trust, we kind of got to get to know the person. And if you've got these videos that supplement your business, then it's like, okay, well, I see him on there and I can read him and I can, I can trust him because I've seen him and I've seen him talk. I think that is where those videos really like drive the point forward of, okay, who's Bello Construction?
For sure.
Yeah.
It's also an image though. Like it's an image. Like you yourself, you look like you present yourself like a very humble person. You know what I mean? You present yourself like the way you present yourself. You're just humble. Yeah, I think that image is very
trustworthy,
important. Very trustworthy.
That's critical, man.
Oh, for sure. Especially these purchases.
We're
not selling used cars.
We're not.
No.
We're not.
Shout out to the used car salespeople. But
hey, respect, bro. You selling used cars? Respect.
We're not. We're not selling appliances. We're selling. Very expensive homes.
Yeah.
So you have to be trustworthy. You have to, because we're handling big amounts of money. And the clients are getting good or better. And I'm a huge advocate of that, of interviewing different builders and saying, man, I can see right through you.
Yeah.
Or you know what? You seem trustworthy, right? Yeah. That's, again, another thing that's kind of helped me. I tell all my clients, let's sit down, for no commitment. Let's sit down in my office for 30 minutes.
Let's just talk. Yeah, let me get to know you. Because you as a builder, you also have to be selective, man. You can't just build for the first person that walks into your door. Like that story I was telling you that happened to me with that lady.
Oh, the Whataburger.
That's crazy, right? I was telling him I had a custom build that in Vendome. Long story short, it was just a weird situation, bro. Very weird situation. The person fell in love. And
with you or the house?
No, with
neither.
No,
with neither, actually.
With neither. But imagine getting married, and then the person you marry is a handyman. So now you're building this house, and everything that you're doing is questioned.
Oh yeah, because the handyman knows everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's tough.
And it was one.
They should have been a builder.
Yeah.
He should have been a
Join STBA. We'll get you right on track.
I'll certify you. But you know what I mean? Like, you never know what's going to happen within a custom build or with dealing with a person. That's why, as a builder, you also have to be very selective and you have to be able to read through people. But it's hard, bro, because people can wear a shell, you know?
Yeah. And I think mainly at the beginning, right, when you're getting these contracts, you're more often than not, you're probably going to take whatever you can get, right?
Of course, at the beginning for sure.
At the beginning for sure. But going back to being trustworthy, man, that's very, very, very important
it's
in
critical,
this industry.
bro. Yeah.
In this industry.
It's critical.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, I think, you know, getting on a podcast like this and really just diving into questions that are genuine and real and you know, obviously your personality comes through and how you do business and where it all started. I think that this is something that you can tag into your Facebook page and your Instagram and just continue to supplement that Bello brand.
Yeah.
You know, man, I'm excited because coming into this, I was, man, I've never done a podcast, right? I'm like, I hope it goes well. I hope I don't disappoint.
Mr. V was nervous last week too.
Man, yeah, I was like, no, more. I told Mara, I was like, you guys are putting me, you know, second to Mr. V, who I respect, you know, highly. I'm like, I hope I don't disappoint. You know what I mean?
The people that we respect that guy, right?
Yeah.
So, but yes, I'm definitely going to use it because I do get that question asked a lot more. Like, how did you start?
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you the story, right? And it's a long story.
And
so
every
you know
time
what?
you tell it,
I'm just going to send that link.
Yeah, just here, listen to the link.
And listen to the link.
Listen to the podcast.
Listen to the podcast. Go to minute, I don't know, 13, 15. There it is.
Perfect.
That's crazy, bro. That's
So
crazy.
what's next for Bello, man? 5 years from now, 10 years from now, how do you see yourself in the industry?
So right now, for the past, already going on 2 years, I'm a fully custom home builder. Mm-hmm. I genuinely like it. I really do, right? It's tough, but man, I see myself still being in the custom industry.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to start doing multifamily builds.
Awesome.
Already.
Where at?
So at Atwood.
Okay, cool. Over there with Xavi,
yes,
Domain, and Dan.
Actually, I just closed on two lots yesterday. So
specs, or you're going to build
those
them for a
will
client?
be specs.
Okay.
Since it's my first multifamily, I want to see the costs and stuff, right? I'm sure there's different. Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Different items that don't go into a residential build, right? So I'm going to do those, and that's kind of what I want to focus on: custom home building and multifamily.
Gotcha.
So,
are you going to try to keep some of those for yourself or for your family?
If the numbers are good, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
And then the ultimate goal is to develop in the future, right? 5 years from now.
Your own subdivision.
My own subdivision. So the name of my company is Bello Construction and Development.
Yeah.
Even though when I started it, I was like,
there was no development.
There still isn't.
I'm developing a plan.
I'm developing a plan to develop. But yeah, man, I think in the next 5 years, I definitely want to be a big player in the custom home building.
Yeah.
And multifamily.
Awesome,
so
bro.
That's really that's why I'm all the way committed to it. So.
If you need any help on the multifamily, we're currently building quite a few of those. So
nice.
If any information on numbers or anything like that, let me know.
Where we're at?
Right here at Park Terrace on Jackson and Jonquil.
Got it.
Yeah, those are nice, bro.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
Actually, shout out to Sergio Holmes because he's been helping me with those numbers.
Yeah,
Sergio,
awesome. Good,
shout out
bro.
Sergio.
Because
That's a good guy.
I did have a lot of questions. Again, a cost breakdown for a residential family, man, I'll knock it down in 30 minutes, 45.
Yeah.
Not much changes.
Right.
When I started working on the one for the multifamily, I was like, how much is a carport cost?
Yeah.
I saw the plans, I was dissecting them, and then there's like an 8x8 enclosure for the garbage bin. And then bollards. It's like, I never even, how much
what's
those
a bollard?
things, how much those things cost.
What are we talking about, man?
But I would call him, hey, Sergio, how much, and so he's helped me a lot. So
good.
Great guy, man.
Shout out to Sergio, man.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. He's now a board member.
Yes.
So we're really happy to have him on the board.
Yeah. And going back to the organization, if I didn't have this organization, well, who do I call for this?
Yeah.
Who do I ask? Hey, man, help me with my own cost breakdown.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
That's awesome, bro. You know, a question where you're at now, right? If you can go back and give yourself some sort of piece of advice when you were building that one house that took you 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like what would you tell yourself then when you felt like maybe everything was just too much, you know?
Man, at that point, like I said, many times it felt like it was impossible. I honestly didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, you know, especially when I would get the bigger quotes. Oh man, like for stucco, like 16,000, and I was like, man, how am I going to come up with this money? If I'm being honest, I never envisioned the success that I'm having now, right? But man, I'd just do the same thing, you know, because at the end of the day, if you're putting hard work into something, it's going to pay off.
Right.
So yes, a lot of times when I wanted to quit, I would just kind of like, hey man, at the end of the day, you're getting you're going to school. If this fails, you're gonna have a career. I was in grad school. I was like, maybe I'll get even a better career. So that's kind of what drove me then. Like, man, just don't quit because it's gonna pay off. That's I guess what I would tell myself. Like, man, just don't quit, man. Just don't quit. It's gonna pay off.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
It's good advice, I think, for everybody in our industry, but just in general, right? Like, you just got to keep going. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I had recently I took my son to Houston to do an interview for the Terry Scholarship. He's going to college next year. He got accepted to Texas A&M.
Congratulations.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude, I'm super proud of that kid, man. He's a great kid, great soul, man. I would love to, if he wasn't my son, I would just love to hang out with him because
Cool.
he's just a cool kid. And we were talking about, what's next and what's, the next steps in his life are. And we were talking about, like, there's really we're looking at pictures from when he first started school, little kid, right, with this big old backpack that looked, almost looked like he was like a Ninja Turtle. There is no plan B. Like, there's plan A, and plan A is to progress and to educate yourself and get better. And go through life, and then have a family, and then eventually, help them get better and do better than you. So there is no plan B. There's just the next step, right? And just the next step for him is college.
There you go.
And so he went into that interview, killed it, man. He got his letter yesterday. He got a full ride.
Wow, awesome, man.
Dude.
Nice.
That's
Congratulations.
awesome. Congratulations
Yeah,
again.
bro. I'm super proud, man. It's
How does that make you feel?
proudest moment
Yeah.
in my fatherhood.
Is he your oldest?
He's my oldest.
He's your oldest?
Yeah.
Makes
That's
you feel,
awesome.
everything you've done.
Was worth
All
it.
the sacrifice.
All the sacrifices that we talked about early
Yep.
on.
Yeah. I've been at this for 22 years, bro. And
Dang.
man, if you didn't think we didn't have shit in 2004, bro. Like, everybody hated each other in the
Yeah.
so there was nobody to piggyback off of. But yeah, man, all that struggle, all that work, and it pays off in your kiddos.
That's awesome.
And so that's why we talk about legacy, right?
Right.
It's important.
And putting in the work, right? I know it's, man, like we talked about earlier, it's a lot of sacrifices, but you do it for a legacy. You do it for your children, your family, or whatever
Your
the case may
community,
be. Community,
The
right?
valley.
But it pays off, man. And I think, to me, my story that we've shared here, at least personally, I feel like it's paying off.
Yeah.
But you just can't quit.
And it's a start, bro.
Yeah.
It's a start. Like, it's not even what you've reached. Like, you're just. It was a stepping stone, and you've already taken your leap to your next stone, and this is just a start, bro. Like, because good things happen to good people, and hard work is forever paid.
I'm a huge believer of that.
Yeah.
Good things will happen to good people.
Absolutely.
Good things happen to good
Huge
people.
believer of that.
When you do good, when you wish good,
lead with your heart, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything's always going to work out.
Yeah. When you don't have any hate in your heart, there's nothing bad that's going to happen, bro. And it's like you said, you just work hard, bro. That's it. All you could do is work hard, control what you do, control your actions. And good things happen to good people. I'm a firm believer in that. I'm a firm believer in one of the most positive people one of the most positive persons that I've come across. And and it's kind of crazy, but you're one of the most positive persons I've ever met in my life. You know, anything going on around, he's like, hey, wait, para adelante, let's go. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just always super positive. And being positive is super important because negativity, thinking negative, speaking negative would drag you down.
Yeah. Negative energy attracts negative energy.
Yeah. And that's and you're just starting, bro. And take it like and believe in it because I see growth. I see growth and I see a flame, you know?
Yeah. You're gonna do well in the industry, bro. I remember when I first heard your name, I was talking to Julio. Hey, we gotta get Eddie Bello in here. Who's Eddie Bello? Dude, he's a young builder, dude. He's kicking ass, he's up and coming, he's doing really well. And now this is where you're at, bro. And so Julio, I'm happy to be your friend. Happy to have you with the organization, man. And dude, I wish you nothing but
you're a great
success.
Example of what the organization stands for.
Yeah,
and that is the willingness to keep moving forward and not giving up.
Yep.
You know, and you paid the price. It's amazing.
Yeah, and shout out real quick to Julio too because he also picked up a few of my phone calls at the beginning.
Yeah,
like when I was in a bind, or hey man, school me on this a little bit. And even last year, I picked up the phone, called him a few times. Hey, this is XYZ, and he was always
he's always answering my call.
He will always answer.
Yeah,
he will always answer. He's a good guy, bro.
Yeah,
like he will tell you how it is.
Yeah,
you know. And you'll take it however it is. You know, take
I
it
want to interview him. We need to get him in.
Yo, Julio, we're going to get you in here, Julio.
We're going to make you cry.
Man, Eddie, well, thank you for stopping by with us, man.
Bro.
We really appreciate you. It was cool to actually hear it, and I'm grateful for your time.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, thank you guys for having me on here. I was excited, nervous at the same time. I hope I shared some, good tips for people, for any up and coming builders. I want to give a shout out or just kudos to every lender, every realtor out there hustling, every other builder. I mean, everybody that's in this industry, man. Like, we're all together in this.
Pressing
we're all
forward,
a team. Yeah, and just keep grinding. Worry about yourself and what you can do, and man, you're gonna do good.
That's awesome, bro. Next week we got Isaac.
We got the Smith brothers.
The Smith brothers, Matt's Cash and Carry, bro.
There you go.
They've been in business since 19 something 70
way before,
or 60 something. We'll find out.
Way before I was even here as a soul. Yeah.
I remember. I'll say this about Matt's Cash and Carry. So I grew up in the industry. My dad was a framer, right? And so they back then, and I think they actually still do have these specials on Saturday mornings where they'll sell like this bundle of lumber or plywood or whatever at a discounted rate. And I used to go with my dad, dude, little kid, and my dad would be like, "Here, sit on this bundle, like aquí siéntate, mijo. We're gonna buy this one, bro." And then I get into the industry and I'm doing my own thing, and I get to meet Isaac and their entire family, dude, and man, just cool peeps doing cool things, doing good things.
You want to hear something funny?
What's that?
I worked for Isaac. I actually worked for Matt's Cash and Carry when I was in high school.
No shit.
Yeah. My dad was like, "You're going to get in there. You're going to learn."
That's awesome.
And did I learn? Nope.
Nah.
No, I'm sorry, Pop. I'm sorry. I let you down on that one. But it's crazy, man, how like the world, it goes round, bro.
Yeah.
You know? Like now I call Isaac and like, "Hey, ¿qué onda?"
Yeah.
What's going on?
Dude.
Awesome.
Super good.
It's crazy.
So they'll be in here, and I think we might have a cameo by one of our builders. He wants to sit in on that interview, so
It'll be cool.
it'll be good, man. Everybody else, tune in, and I think we'll have this on Facebook, right, permanently. So if you guys want to listen to Eddie's story and this podcast, tune in to STBA podcast, right?
STBA podcast
On Facebook.
We'll also be posting it on the STBA Facebook as well. And thank you, man.
Yeah.
No, thank you guys.
Thank you, bro.
All right, bro.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you, brother.
That's good.